Shalom.
Shalom.
With the GMS New Orleans camp, here to bring you a live camp. Prior to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakapadash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS and taught us in truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, our brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.
So, for this live camp here, just through the spirit of, what's going around, just to, pretty much keep in brothers' minds, to be circumspect, in Bible shot, brother could get the definition for word circumspect, better pronunciation sake. But being circumspect in these last times that we're in, these last days, so it's something, a quality that a lot of brothers need to be able to sharpen, around these times, Everything good? Yeah. So, get the word for me real quick.
Yeah, this is the word circumspect. Online etymology. It says cautious, wary. It says literally looking about on all sides.
Circumspect is a compliment where you go in a circle, goes in like a circumference, right, which is a circle,
Basically around.
Yeah, basically around, Inspect, used to be looking, goes into a spectacle.
That's expected, especially for us, we ought to be called, as men of the Lord, but also as watchmen. All right. So if we're watchmen, obviously we're looking for, the signs and, the things just through prophecy, seeing all of these things be fulfilled. But even if you want to peel the, layer back even more, the scale of even being a watchman to just danger in general, all right? Like, just because we come out here and just preach, the scriptures and, the things that we do on our off time, that doesn't mean that you should ever let your guard down in any type of situation, That's, speaking as a man, But, Bob Bashar, kick me off with that Ecclesiastes.
This is Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1, and it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together,
Keep going with 7.
a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing things. Embracing. A time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Verse 7, a time to rent and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak.
So like verse 8.
Verse 8, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
So again, with measuring the time that we see what's going on, we know that these spirits is definitely going to start kicking. It's going to be a lot of demonic ass shit going on around us, just to throw men off of their path. All right, but acknowledging these times, that's something that you have to do first and foremost. You have to acknowledge and know what time and what season that we're in. All right, so again, it's not a time to be in a lackadaisical spirit, where you can be caught off guard with anything. All right, so that's why our heads need to be in, through with prophecy. Our heads need to be in, dealing with the body, making sure that the body is okay. But again, also your head needs to be in protecting yourself at all times, just to be able to make it to continue to do the work of the Lord. So you got to preach up?
Yeah. This Romans 13 and 11. It says, in that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Our salvation is nearer than we believe. We don't have a pinpoint, time, but we do have signs that the Lord is showing us, And one of those signs that you can see is definitely going to be the persecution of the saints. All right, that's something that's part of the scriptures. The Lord said it's going to happen. All right, so knowing that that's going to happen, that means that you're going to have somebody watching you and somebody attempting to take your life, you know, or successfully taking your life. Because some men in this truth will have to die for the Lord's sake. You know, it's written. You, well, oh, come. You got it. No. That was the point.
This Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord."
Can you get that word?
Insurrection.
You know, but you know, you got it already. Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, it's this insurrection in the online etymology. It says a rising up against civil authority. It says a rising up. It says rising. That's pretty much the point. Rising up to rise up.
So a rising up. You know, it said rising up against of authority. You know, and we know that's going to be, you know, one of the things happening in JT. You know, in the times of Jacob trouble, a time that has never, you know, have really happened before. You know, but that happening is going to be mass chaos, man. So you got to imagine there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of things, you know, a lot of people going down left and right, you know. You got it.
It's Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 70 in the GNT. It says, "In many places near the cities, there will be a violent persecution against those who fear the Lord. The attackers will act like wild people, and they will plunder and destroy without pity all those who still fear the Lord. They will turn them out of their homes and take away all their possessions. This will be the time of testing for my chosen people, and they will prove to be as pure as refined gold."
Yeah. So, Jake, you know, you got to remember at all times, you know, we have a target on our back, man. All right. And I brought it out in the lesson that we did, but the world hated me before it hated you.
Okay.
Everybody could get that from anybody, whoever get it first. But you know, that's something that's going to happen. But again, it's a part of the Lord's story. All right, the elect will have to be tested on that extreme level, where knowing that it's going to be a lot of people that's going to hate us, you know, for what we teaching, what we preaching, which it ain't nothing but just from the Holy Spirit, you know, speaking the words that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you know, put on the Spirit for us to preach, you know. But that's going to cause a lot of division, you know, for us in a righteous sake. But to them, they're not going to be able to understand it. They're just going to take it as disrespect and one blood.
Yeah, because that's why it's important to be circumspect, though, knowing that these are the things that can happen to us, right? Us being wasted away, casting out our houses, right? Our names passing on TV screens, right? Which actually, I was talking to this brother, you know, this whole Trump, you know, invoking the Insurrection Act. It says it's gonna be an insurrection against those that fear the Lord, though.
Right.
You see, in which I was kind of doing some research on it. All right, basically, that's something that's only invoked during wartime, right? During World War I, World War II, and I believe the other time was the Vietnam War, right? And what that does, that gives the president an act of power, basically, to snatch up whatever the fuck he want to snatch up, man. Right? He's doing that in the name of ICE and immigration, but we know who's the real targets of Esau Edom, man. You know?
This devil, you know, it's the same playbook that we witnessed even before it got to the scale of presidential things. You know, if you ever deal with the police, what's their main purpose or excuse to fuck with you? Probable cause.
Right.
So if they have that probable cause, that means everything goes out the window, and they have every right to give you, to fuck over you if they really want to. You know, plant some things on you or just fuck over you.
Well, I tell you in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, which when you go into that particular chapter, it goes into the mind and the thought, right, of this devil. It tell you that his strength lies in what? In his law. So if probable cause is according to the laws and the amendments, right, the statutes that this devil creates, right, how much more when he creates some shit that's, you know, going against what the prophets are speaking on. You see? Then probable cause is everything we do. You see? I got a precept for you too. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and 20, and it reads, For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Who are the ones that watch for iniquity? The prophets, man. You see, it says, verse 21, that make a man an offender for an word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. All right, that's what's gonna happen, man. All right, we're being made. We're in the process of being made. Um, what it says, an offender. Okay, they're building a case. All right, which they have no evidence. Okay, but nevertheless, could they're building a case against us. We haven't struck anybody or came against anybody physically, things of that nature. It's the words as it speaks about in what Second Thessalonians, the second chapter. You see, you got it out.
And overall, like this, how you know how fucked up this devil is. In this situation, again, we're doing nothing but preaching the word of
That's
the Lord.
it.
All right. So nothing is coming out of our mouth that we're talking about. Yeah, hey, tomorrow I'm going to go to war with the government. I'm going to destroy this and that and the third. I'm gonna go and meet them over there in the land, and we're gonna cause war over there. None of these things is coming out of our mouth. We're telling you, hey, the Lord is coming back. He's coming back on these chariots. He's coming to save his men, and in the meantime, he's also going to fuck y'all up as well. But we gotta take the fall on it, just because this damn devil, we already know that he's gonna go down with everything that he has, to fight and claw to keep his position, which you would expect from anybody who's at the top, So if they're at the top right now and us being at the bottom, they're gonna do everything in their will to not fall. But we know how the story is.
Like you said in the beginning, these heathens don't like our message. They don't like the so-called Negroman, Latino men in America prophesying, telling you that your kingdom's but to fall, right? That you're going to subjection. Our Lord coming back, for being called bondage. They don't like that, man. So it only makes sense for them, the spirits to ramp up and start to attack us. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
That St. John real quick.
I was just gonna say, just to back up the brother Taliah, you know what I'm saying? We talked about evidence. He's gonna create evidence. That's why he has AI. Right?
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? He's gonna use it. He's gonna falsify people's faces, saying they doing things. It's gonna look real too, like how it look now, but even better. But that's how he's gonna operate.
If I could speak on that, I was just talking to a friend of mine about that. One thing you always got to know about this devil, man, is just my experience of what I seen in the force, and so, man, whatever they show you, they always have a million times better than that. So if they're sitting here letting you on social media play with AI and it's looking realistic, obviously they have something that's more precise to make it exact. This devil has a deep bag of shit, man.
Think about it, a few years back when they had the hologram of Tupac on stage rapping, so oh man, it looks so real, it looks just like Tupac.
Right.
Now they give you AI, which is really kind of behind that technology. They show like in this.
I wanted to say like that's just like how people push out like your own development. First it gives you like a beta stage, you know what I'm saying, just to see how it works, it operates, and then they also give you something to let people tell them like, look, this is what the flaws at and this and that. So in the background, they probably tweaking it out and making it more advanced than what it is today.
Definitely.
And ultimately, go back to what you started out, with the premise of this video. All right, what that brother was saying in that, the video that we all watched. All right, hey, this devil is constantly watching. Look at what happened with that brother. Where that was at in Canada, Toronto. Hey, one single, and I'm gonna say an Edomite because he was revved up in the spirit. He said, other things, but that Edomite, he was so pissed off with that brother that he went to extreme measures. How much more the chief house of Edom? You see, how much more these elites who have the funds and the power, the resources to what? To actually do something. But real quick, I wanted to say this because that was the Lord showing us we're finna get into them times. That was just something to let the brothers know we in those times, man. We in times of persecution. You got it, huh? Slock it.
All I'm gonna say is this simple fact: y'all brothers don't know that video got 1 million views.
Come on.
That shit went viral. It's on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
It's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, World Star, right? So like this brother said, persecution is coming, man. You know? You got it, bro.
Real quick, when you go back to the actual video that we watched, that the brothers was told to watch, hey that brother from where he was from, the West Coast, Los Angeles. Yeah. So what he was going into, man, you being watched. All right. I don't know if you brothers watched it, but like the elders say, man, please watch it, okay? Because he's telling you, it don't matter if you getting 2 views, 4 views. Hey, somebody is watching you. Like these brothers was going into with AI and CGI and this technology and shit. This devil can manipulate the views. You really will have hundreds of views, but he'll say you have 4. These elites are watching us, man. This is the downfall of their kingdom. You don't think they watching? You got it. Lock it.
Just to back you up as well, and that could also go into, the mindset of brothers of, if you don't think that these men are watching you just because it's not that many views and this and that and the third, you lack the
discernment,
importance, in your mind to know how serious this thing in the truth is. It's not that we're just sitting here just opening the Bible and reading. No, we're actually ushering in our Lord and Savior to come and fuck this place up and save us. So this is not nothing in any shape or form that these devils are taking light. So we know that if you put on them VR goggles and shit like that, you will see your camera flashing up and shit taking pictures. We know that the internet fucking box or whatever sends pulses through the house like a UAV.
Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi box sends things through your house to track you in a sense. What you say?
I was saying monitoring.
Yeah. So we know on those type of scales that we're being monitored. So how much more of something as serious as this?
That's right.
And that's, again, that comes with being circumspect. Like knowing. They tell you that knowing is half the battle. So knowing is a major piece. So after you know that, then you have to execute. All right, with the things that you know. But hit me with that St. John Barbara show.
This is John 15 and 18, verse 18, and it says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Mm-hmm. If ye were of the world will love his own.
Stop right there. If read that last part one more time.
It says, if ye were of the world will love his own.
So if we were of the world would love his own. So if we out here preaching that kumbaya, rainbow spirit, get down with the system and, become a part of the system, become this android that can be controlled, through the system, everybody would love this thing. Look how, they're advancing their thoughts and this and that and third. But the fact that we are against this is going to cost so much shit,
And it says, but because ye are not of this world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you.
So the Lord has chosen us out of this world, man. Again, we all know that we was all a part of this. We all had dreams and aspirations to be something in this world. And who knows, if it never came down to this truth, maybe brothers would be, succumb to this devil. We don't know how this thing would have played out, being away from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, But what we could tell you is that it's definitely going to end with death, knowing these things now. All right, being circumspect to what the Lord's will is going to be, And you still got that Ephesians for me? Get that for me. But they had a little bit more now.
Yeah.
Finish it off and then we'll get that Ephesians.
Verse 20, it says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than the Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
So, and it's funny because I was, chopping it up with one of the brothers from the Las Vegas camp, last night. And we had a good conversation about us, us brothers, read through the book of Matthews, and just seeing that all the Lord did was try to put our people on game. I'm gonna come your way, brother. I'm gonna get this business. I'm gonna come your way. But the Lord ain't do nothing but try to put, his people on game of understanding, you know, having that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But all they did was try to look for loopholes to mangle up the Lord's words, to try to catch him slipping, and to fuck him over at the end of the day. All right? But if we notice and we have these things for our learning to see, and we know that it's going to be on an even larger scale now, because now it's not they're looking for one person, they're looking for many men, you know, many men of the Lord.
And I want to say this too, because they started looking for the disciples as well.
Right.
At the end,
Yep.
when they was asking, I basically, weren't you with Yahushua?
Right.
He was like, oh no, I wasn't. Peter was like, no, you know. So, hey, do we not consider ourselves disciples of Yahushua in this time? You know, there's special things that are put in place, these different acts to grab up the disciples of Yahushua in this time too. You know, those that even hey, the innumerable multitude, man, aside from the 144,000, they're gonna be sought after as well.
Right.
Anybody that agree with this truth, with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you're a target. Your name has been jotted down.
Right.
Whether it's your Babylonian name or your Hebrew name, they got all that, man.
Right. Yeah. Like this, I got you real quick, but you know, they got the saying that if you're not with us, you're against us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the Lord even says the same thing. But that goes on both sides of the table. If we're not a part of Esau's system, you know, in his new system that he's trying to push, then we're against it by default, you know. But you got it.
Is Isaiah 59 verse 15. Yeah, true fellow, and he that departed from evil making himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. But the point is, say, he that departed from evil has made himself a prey. So basically, yeah, now you're a target. Now that you know the truth, man, you know, hey, you see the wickedness and foulness of this place, you know. Now that, hey, man, you know this word, which ain't just word, it's basically let's talk about, hey, man, Esau's downfall.
Right.
You're now made a target now, you know, and they go use everything to, hey, man, try to stop you from you know, proclaiming this word.
Right.
But yeah, you can't stop this word, man, because hey, it's only for the elect, man. They like wicked up, man.
And again, it's only right. All right, because now if you put the shoe, you know, on you know, on our side, when we get our kingdom, you know, obviously Jake talked about, you know, playing around with this, about making these heathen think that they're going to be able to revolt and shit like that, just for Jake to wake up and get an early morning workout, you know, fucking over these damn heathen, you know. But it's just something about that just being the ultimate disrespect of bringing down somebody else's kingdom. All right, and it has to come to blows and violence behind it. All right, so you got to understand that on both sides. It's not something that is just out of the ordinary, that all of a sudden that us preaching the downfall of this devil's kingdom, that he's supposed to want peace behind us. Like it's really plain, you know. But get that Ephesians 5 for me.
Oh, so like, because remember, I was talking with this brother. Remember we was on the phone, Rashad, and we looked up that what that word, what it was, leftist.
Yeah, what is it?
But it basically put a target on the prophets. It was basically saying if anybody against the elites,
In a nutshell, that's
what it said. Anybody against the elites,
That's what it said, brother.
then they're a target. They tap.
Yeah.
Enemy of the state, man.
That's
Talk to enemy, man.
and that project was given.
Shit out of there.
Project Cypher and all of that, man.
You open up the fucking file cabinet with them bitches. Man.
Yeah.
Hit that Ephesians 5 for me. Go straight to 15 years.
This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Verse 16, redeeming the times because the days are evil.
Stop right there. Redeeming the times because the days are evil. All right. Again, we're rolling into JT. You know, we're already pretty much at the beginning of it. We're seeing a lot of things unfold that we've never seen unfold before. All right. I don't think we've never been alive to see, you know, world wars in the beginnings of everything happening. we haven't been alive to see, you know, famines and prices skyrocketing. You know, these are all things that's just new to us. You know, brothers around their 20s, 30s, and 40s. You know, these are things that's never been seen. All right. But every day in the news, you know, you're seeing more and more things, you know, just never seen before that is prophesied through the scriptures that is going to happen, you know. But continuing.
Verse 17. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
That's it. Read that one more time.
Ephesians 5 verse 17. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
So right there is unwise to not have the understanding of the Lord. All right. So if you don't understand the will of the Lord, you will consider unwise. All right. So the Lord is telling you, don't be unwise. So being circumspect leads to being wise, of knowing your surroundings. It falls in the boat of knowing, you know, the will of the Lord. All right. And that's the importance of it. You know. Oh, I thought he was pointing. Oh, you about to say something?
I'm about to say that that's another reason why we gotta understand the Lord's will is because we're in a society where it's against the Lord's will, and we know that the Lord's will it comes with repercussions. Right. So we gotta know what we are part of and what come with it.
Yeah. So again, you gotta. It's crazy how all of this can just be branched off of being circumspect of a damn devil threatening your life. You know, it's not, the scale is not that small that you just gotta think, okay, I just gotta make sure nobody get up to me that close and this and that and the third. All right, yeah, that's something, you know, but it's still a lot of more things of being circumspect of knowing what the hell is going on around you know. But start getting precepts.
Yeah, I got one. Go ahead. And then I want to get this verse, but I want to get the end of it. Is what the main point. This is Sirach 9 and verse 13. It says, "Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill." You know who that man is. You know, it's Esau Edom. He's the one that's been basically given the sword to come down on the nation of Israel, the Israelites. Right. Chiefly the elect, man. You know, coming after us, like the brother mentioned earlier. It says, "So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault." So don't be aggressive. Don't be an agitator. You know what I'm saying? Don't make rash decisions, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because, like the scripture said, he has the power to kill, right? And it says, "Lest he take away thy life presently." And this is the point I wanted to get. It says, "Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares." So that's what Esau's laying out for the elect, man. He's trying to lay out snares, traps, you know, to get you entangled. Like the brother was saying, you know, they were trying to entangle Yahushua in his words. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to make images of us, make you speak on, you know, be plastered all over the TV. It's just going to be it's just going to be, you know what I'm saying, but not you. Right. I'm saying that's not me, but everybody you know will say, man, that's you. You know what I'm saying? You the one talking here. You know what I'm saying? That's something you would say, you know? And I'm gonna finish it off, and it says, "And that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city." So you go on a battle, man. You need armor when you go to battle, right? The Lord provides us with the armor, okay? You know what I'm saying? I believe your brothers talk about, you know, going to a battlefield. You know what I'm saying? They drop you in the city, and who you up against? Everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's opposing, and that's how the men of the Lord are. You know what I'm saying? We're coming up against the whole world with this truth. You know, so just remember that's a part of being circumspect.
This is Matthew 5:25, and it says, "Agree with thy adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison."
You know, and on that note right there, you know, you don't really want anything to get to violence. All right, you know, in our seed that we're in right now, well, us being in these fleshly bodies, where our life can be taken, or somehow, some way, we get tossed up in the system and we get lost in the system. Now we got to sit down in jail for 10 to 20 years or until the kingdom comes. You know, you never know how it's going to operate, but you don't want to put yourself in those situations. So in those situations, agree agree with thy adversary. All right, hey, you got that, boom, boom, boom. If it's already to the point, if a gun or something is pointed at you, if your life is already threatened, you know, it doesn't make sense to be a hoorah, you know, just a soldier in the moment, you know. If you can walk away from the situation, walk away from it. But in that instance right there, things already got too far, you know, you gotta protect yourself, you know. Say something real quick.
Yeah, and that was the whole premise of that video, you know, was making brothers aware of the times that you actually in. Hey, and like I said again, that was a foreshadowing of what's to come, showing you that the time for talking is about to be, you know, it's about to cease. All right, once it got to a point of, well, all right, you see hostility, all right, you have to be already on guard. You can't, you know, allow a person to get within range of you. And that was the whole premise of that video, what that elder was speaking about, man. You know, your mind has to be in the right spirit. Just because you're preaching the words of the right spirit, you have to be in the right spirit too. You got it, huh?
Yeah, you have to be mentally prepared for things to go down at any moment.
That's right.
You know, we could be in the grocery store, right? We could be somewhere out doing something.
Work.
Be at work. Be at home. At this point in time, you mentally prepared for it to go down at any given moment. You know?
And if I could say too, you know, one of my favorite sayings, and I probably did like a video on it a while ago, you know, probably time to do another one on it, but stay ready so you don't have to get ready, you know. So if you stay ready and you don't have to get ready, you know, you don't have to really worry about these, you know, worry too much. You always got to worry about, you know, stupid shit happening, but at least when the stupid shit is happening, you're prepared. You know, that's the importance of staying ready, you know, because we already know the blow that's going to knock you out is the blow that you don't see. The one that's going to end your life is, you know, the one that you just don't see, you know?
Right. You know, these people are basically, you know, like the scriptures say, natural brute beasts. And, you know, so basically they're crazy. You can't rationalize crazy. They're insane. The only sane people on the planet are the prophets, right? Or the people that follow the prophets. Yeah. So, and that's what that guy was displaying. And that's what we're going to be coming up against. A whole bunch of basically madmen, crazy people, man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a quick precept for you. That was Matthew 24:12. It says, because this was going on right now, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And when you go into that word, waxing cool means cycle. And that's what we're not seeing right now. That man, that Edomite, because he was in the spirit, was cycle. You just walk up on a man and just all in his face, bro. Like that's some psycho activity. And it's ramping up more and more. We gonna see things more and more happen like this.
Well, ultimately, with with that whole situation, with like the elder spoke about, the apostle spoke on it, all right, and all of these different things, like we facing down here right now with camp spots, right? And man, like that whole situation there, right? You got multiple brothers in different states, different cities, all right, migrating and trying to find new camp spots, and this shows you that the Lord, is getting ready to take the men of the Lord off the highways, man. All right, what you think, man? The Lord said, "Touch not my prophets, man. Do my prophets no harm." So if these things start to increase, what do you think is gonna happen? We ain't gonna be out here teaching no more, man. We got it all.
Yeah, the famine of the word is definitely near, man. Nearer than what we believe. And even you could say it on a different scale, even if it was to take another year or so, man, we've been walking down years like days, man.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, bro. We walking into 2026. And you can imagine the shit that happened on Bourbon Street, like that shit happened like 3-4 months ago. Yeah. Like we know, just through the season, we know that we were towards the end of the season, but man, it seems like only thing that you remember is the beginning of the year, the end of the year. And that's it,
Days feel like weeks, brother. Like, you wake up today, it's Monday, then you wake up again, it's next Monday, man. Like it's crazy.
We just had camp.
Yeah, brother. Just that daily schedule throughout the week. I'm on a plantation, and throughout the week we gotta handle certain things that we need to do with the body. And the next thing you know, it's Friday, we here, Saturday we're here, and then Sunday getting ready back to go to the plantation. You know,
The Lord He's shortening the days for His sake, man. All these days not shortened, bro.
Verse 22.
It's right there.
Yeah, I won't.
Oh yeah, get it. Yeah.
22.
It's a lot that I had clicked off there.
I got it. This is Matthew 24 and 22, and it says, "Except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened."
For the elect's sake, all right? Because the Lord knows, and brother can get that too, roughly paraphrasing, that basically we'll be, say again?
It says pilgrims.
Not pilgrims, that's an Edwards. Basically, we'll be overtaken. If it, maybe I'm mixing two together.
Out of lamentation, will be consumed by the Lord's mercy. If it wasn't for the
I think that might be it. But yeah, for the elect's sake, you know, these things had to be sped up, you know, because we'll ultimately be consumed, you know, by this devil, man. You know, God. You know, you're gonna be consumed by this goddamn devil because, man, believe it or not, you know, this devil got some shit, man. You know, he got some things in his bag to throw a lot of people off, and we know that you know, a lot of, you know, they might have men that's preaching right now that may not be preaching tomorrow, you know, just through whatever this devil may throw at some men, you know. Just because we were out here preaching the word, we pray that you know, that we don't be overtaken by this damn devil, you know, or let Satan, you know, get a hold to throw us off. But you know, it's a chance, you know. So that's why you got to stay prayed up and believe that you know, that you're going to be able to finish this race, you know.
Yo, you want to say, man, make the days. I want you to Google AI overview. He said, yes, Earth rotation has been speeding up since 2020. We all know what time of year that was. Making days shorter by a fraction of a millisecond and caused scientists to consider adding a negative leap second by 2029. Just going, you know, what y'all saying that the days was being short.
And that's why they took away what? The I think it was maybe last year or the year before that, they spoke about taking away daylight savings time. Right? All of these different things in which affect time. You see? In 2020, what they came out with? Operation what? Warp speed. You see? So we understand the times are being shortened, and they also understand. Tell you that in Revelations, man. Yeah, but a short time. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 16. Behold, I was sent for many fishers, said the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill out of the holes of the rocks.
You know, and that was something I said earlier, you know, at the time, you know, of us not, you know, pretty much going straight to violence when it comes to things, all right? Because obviously we need to, you know, use our words, use our Yaikwab, you know, as we can, you know. We need to be able to talk our way out of, you know, many situations before it comes to blows or even taking somebody's life, right? But we know that overall, you know, at some point in time, you know, that the Lord is gonna switch the roles, you know, for us to not be fishers of men no more, which what we're doing right now, you know, just preaching the word and trying to fully seal the elect. But you know, we're going to become hunters at some point in time to take these damn devils down, you know. You want to say something? Oh, they have more than that over there. I think that was it. Come. Yeah. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah. This is 1 Peter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about seeking whom he may devour.
whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing the same affliction are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
You got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like the brother was talking about, this devil been watching us from the beginning. They know everybody, they got everybody in the database and code and stuff like that. So they know the time is being short. So, in this times right now, you shouldn't be, looking for murder, things like that, but be more, circumspect, like the things that happen with the brother and stuff like that. It could be more. It could even escalate to a whole different, situation that it should be. But, that just makes it ever more important why we should just be circumstanced and watch out for these things to come.
And that's the importance of it. Because what it said that the devil, Satan, what it said, the devil, how it
says the adversary of the devil.
Seeking. Yeah, go ahead, read it.
It says the adversary of the devil as a roaring lion, walking about seeking who he may devour.
And we go over it a lot. It's probably one of the a precept that comes out a lot, but a quality of a lion is, again, not taking out the biggest prey in the biggest group. All right, it seeks for the smallest, weakest animal that he knows that he can take down without effort. That's separated away from the pack. All right, that's how Satan, how the devil is looking to separate men of the Lord. Want to catch you lacking in a sense. All right, but again, that comes again with being circumspect to know that if you got somebody that's hunting you, why should you ever put your head down? And we think about the Khan with the Gideon.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, if you got it, go ahead. Khan, because that was about to roll through.
Yeah, this
hold on, sorry. Khan, get that real quick. Then we're gonna get
it says, this is Luke 10 and verse 3. It said, "Go your ways, behold, I send you forth as a lamb among wolves." And that's all I had wanted. But pretty much, like the lion analogy, the devil seeking, who he may devour as like the little ones. You're not gonna go after somebody, fierce and all that. He's going after the weak ones. And that's why we gotta be built up in this faith.
But you got it.
This Judges 7. And I'll start at verse 4. It says, "In the law, Yahweh said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. Bring them down unto the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee, and of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go." All right, verse 5. "So he brought down the people unto the water, and Yahweh said unto Gideon, everyone that lappeth of the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, everyone that boweth down upon his knees to drink." It says, verse 6, "And the number of them that lapped put in their hand to their mouth were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water."
So if you can picture, what's going on in the story right here, or this account, is, it's a group of men, all right, that's literally sticking their head in the water, lapping water like a dog. About to go to war though, so you're in a situation where you need to be on your P's and Q's, you need to know, you could be attacked at any moment, everything that comes with being a part of a war type of battle, there's no time to lose, because the moment that you like in any type of way, that's the moment that your life will be taken away. Okay, so again, it said it was only 300 men that grabbed the water with their hands and brought it to their mouth. So in that sense right there, they're not head down, they can see what's going on their surroundings, and they're still getting the water that they need. So, but if you continue with that story, you see that the Lord made Gideon take those 300 men to war, and they proceeded to win the battle. Just with those small amount of men, they went in with the least amount of numbers, but they went in with the most disciplined men, you know, that was circumspect with their surroundings.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the rest of these 2 verses.
Yeah.
Because I picture if all of them men who wasn't, you know, drinking the water while still being alert, picture if all of them would have came, you know, with those 300 men, who was actually, you know, doing a, you know, just being on point, they would have lost. Right. So it was better for them to go with that 300 men, who all alert, who all on point, than to go with them, and then everybody goes to battle. Right.
And that just go to show you, that your mindset plays a huge factor in this truth. Right. That it didn't say that the rest of those men were wicked, you know, they were going off. No, your mindset just wasn't in the proper place for that. Just like in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, your mind wasn't on war. We're in a time of war, so your mind must be in that stead. You see, that's a perfect example to show you. All right, now it's time to gird up your loins and understand the times that we in. You got it out.
Yeah, there's a quote saying that it's a quote that say we gotta stop and prepare for war when it starts. We already lost.
Hell yeah. Beyond that for at that point, you know.
Yeah, that's verse 7. It says, "Then the Lord said unto Gideon, about the 300 men that left, will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let all the other people go every man unto his place." So the people took victuals in their hand and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man unto his tent, and retained those 300 men, and the host of Midian was with him in the battle. Yeah, and he said, went on, man. He had to go home, because this battle ain't for you.
Right. Yeah, and that's the movie 300 is modeled off that account. Right. You see, when you go into, all right before they went into war with the Persians in that movie 300, what did Leonidas ask the 300 men? Well, he asked the guys who was going to help him. He asked, "What is your occupation?" Some of them said blacksmiths, bakers, right? Things of that nature. He asked the 300, his men, the Spartans, "What is your occupation?" And they responded, in like manner of war. You see, they said, "Ahu," basically, you know, just showing this is what we do. Okay, so the mindset was there, and when you saw them fight, you saw a complete difference. You know. You got it. Because a lot of Jakes don't understand that these movies and things of that nature is modeled off the scriptures, man. You know, that really happened. Okay.
I believe it's. I thought I had it highlighted, but I think it goes on. Tell me if you know anything else when it talks about if a man was to be married,
right?
Married before, send him home. He can't go to war. I think this is 24 and 5. Go ahead, read it.
Now, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verse 5. When a man had taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he had taken.
And you know, this brother Kabar, he always brings up this movie. I forget the name of it. Dead President. You know, when he talks about try to explain it.
Yeah, basically in that movie, Dead President, Lorenz Tate and Chris Tucker, there's a scene where they was just talking, and then like Lorenz Tate, he told him like he had a daughter. Chris Tucker, he was like, "Hey, let me see a picture." He said, "Hey," he said, "I can't look at it. I can't think about it." Then Chris Tucker, he looked at it like he was bugging. But yeah, Lorenz Tate, he explained to him that why he can't look at the picture, because if he look at the picture, that's going to distract him from the battle.
Right.
He told him that's the main reason why, like, man, he was able to battle, man, to win. You know, kill, man. You know, because his mindset was on the battle, man.
Right.
He say the minute he think about his family, he a dead man.
Yep. You know? But again, you know, that correlates again with that Deuteronomy 24 and 5, that if a man, you know, just freshly got married, you know, probably then firstly went up into his woman and everything, that's fresh on his mind. You know, and he's thinking about all of the things that, you know, know, probably does that comes with taking care of her and, you know, all this. And that's not a mindset that you want that's fit for a battle where, you know, you got to take somebody's life or, you know, put your life down on the line for somebody else.
I would say too, yeah, woman.
Right. Hell yeah. You got one real quick.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. The light of the body is the eye. I mean, rather than Yahushua, Matthew 6, verse 22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Verse 23. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. And if therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Yeah, good. Yeah, basically, your soul is supposed to be having your mind and eye cell focused on the truth. You know, if you're getting distracted by other different things in the world, you're not gonna be on point.
I believe the below or above that verse it talks about where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. You ain't gotta get it, but that shows the importance of, you know, where your mindset is on things. All right, and your mindset being on treasures and riches on earth, you know, that's where your heart is going to be. You know, if your mind and your thoughts are on the kingdom, you know, that's where your heart is going to be. That's where, you know, you're going to conduct yourself in that type of way. But again, you know, just wrapping everything full circle, it just backing up what you said, that shows the importance of a mindset. All right. And again, it doesn't make you totally wicked that just because you don't have that mindset, but it behooves brothers to work on it, to build your mindset to get into these type of levels of keeping the first thing the first, you know, and you know, making everything pretty much plain and simple, man. All right, because if you have too many thoughts and affairs going on in this world, that's ultimately just going to take you down at the end of the day. But if you keep everything plain and you doing the will of the Lord, you know, there's no way you can fail, man. You know,
Just backing it up. You know, as a good soldier. This is 2 Timothy 2:3, and it says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach." Verse 4, "No man that war entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier." You know what I'm saying? So in this truth, you know, Yahushua had chosen each and every one of us in this truth, you know, to be those soldiers. But what do soldiers do? You know, soldiers stand by their words, they master while we're leading them, and you know, they go through these things and you know, they take charge and deal with it.
A soldier only have one job, and that job is whatever his the lieutenant, you know, yeah, that's his objective. That's it. The soldier, he not supposed to create his own objective, and no, that ain't your place. You're a soldier, not a general, not a lieutenant. You fulfill the orders. We've been given an order, all right, to follow righteousness, follow Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right, and speak this truth until we can't no more. The Lord gonna take care of the rest.
Y'all want to see to it, say, hey, no matter how hard it is, how scary it is, you got to complete the mission. Right. You know? And what do a general tell a soldier something go haywire? Finish the mission, soldier. It don't matter what goes down, whatever what happens, you got to finish that mission, soldier. That's like enough. It's the gospel. You got to finish on out. That is our mission. Finish on out. That's what we probably get. Then the main point too is saying best soul.
Yes.
Saying by yourself in this world. Right?
Yes.
Hey, we can't allow the world to distract us from our mission, man.
right? You know, yeah, things get thrown off, man. You know, and again, completing the mission. You know, that's it's beautiful that we know that that's the goal and duty of a soldier: complete the mission, complete the order that is given you. And again, the things that's been given to us, you know, we need to complete it because we know that it's already written. All right, we already know that this mission will be completed. All right, whether we be a part of this thing or not. All right, we know that the Lord already has it written that there's going to be this set amount of men that is going to complete this mission. They're going to receive these crowns, They're gonna have this innumerable multitude that's gonna cleave to the body, the believers. You know, that's just gonna overall just consist of the 1/3 of Israel that's just gonna make it. All right. But again, you know, it starts with you know, finishing the job first and foremost. You know, you want to say something?
Uh, I want to say, pretty much, if a soldier ever go haywire and don't do, that judgment, try to take it their own way, what it does is, it causes more problems that he got to deal with, and we don't need that in the truth, because we can already see that the path's been set. You go on the left or the right, you know what I'm saying? That's just gonna make it even more harder. It's gonna make it harder for you to get to that goal, other than just going straight forward and just dealing with the things to come.
Yeah, I got a precept real quick. Just backing the brother up from 2 Timothy, the second chapter. This is Sirach 19 and verse 1. It says, "A laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich, and he that contenteth small things shall fall by little by little." So, just backing the brother up, it's always something small, something gradual, like if your job comes up to you and say, "Hey, you gotta quit the truth," you're gonna be like, hell no. But if they come up to you and tell you, you gotta change your days, you know what I'm saying, which will also, burden the truth of you coming out on the highways and hedges, you know what I'm saying, you may begin upon it, you may step back, begin upon it, or how I'm gonna work this out, what I gotta do. The answer is still no, right, but it's something not as big, you know what I'm saying,
But again, you already know that, again, keep the first things first, so we know in any type of, if those situations that ever come by, we know that it's the truth and everything wraps around the truth, not that when the truth wraps around whatever you got going. That overcomplicates a lot of things, because now, you got your crown on the line. So you willing to put your crown on the back burner, just to not continue and finish the mission.
And this is how important these minuscule situations are for the main event. All right, the Lord gives each and every one of us the opportunity to display, all right, sacrifice. Okay, brothers have to, get accustomed to understanding, like, I might have to put in a day for the Day of Atonement, if possible, right? We're talking about if possible. You know, Saturdays are, basically non-negotiable. You feel me? Those are our days that we bring it out and things of that nature. But and you brothers know what I'm talking about as far as the things that are done behind the scenes and things of that nature. But these things are leading us to be basically be comfortable with sacrificing things of the world that may have seemed important. Those things, what it said in that 2 Timothy, that entangle it. You see, the affairs of life. The Lord is getting us familiar with, detaching from the affairs of life. Cause hey, we finna go into the big entanglement, right? The MOTB. You see, you can't. There's no negotiating with that. You know, it's it's getting on the crunch time. So brothers gotta understand that that's a it might seem small, right? Dedicating your weekends, dedicating, how nice we do our studies and conference calls, but it plays a very big important factor. Denying jobs, right? All of these things lead up to basically that fate that we need, you know. You got it, Bayan. Salaki from being long with it.
Why y'all get that? I want to say, all those little sacrifices, like them little pop quiz that's leading to that big test. You know what I'm saying? If you keep on doing good on the small things, sacrificing and all that. When it comes to that test that we're gonna have to take, it will be worth it. We won't have to worry about, oh man, this and that. You already know that we sacrifice everything in our life, for that moment to sacrifice even more. And then at the end of the day, we're gonna gain it 100-fold. So why just a little thing? Why wouldn't sacrifice a little thing over something that's greater than that?
Right.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye in the fart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction.
It's polluted and it destroy you with even a sword of destruction. So arise, and depart. So if you're rising apart, spiritually, gotta see that spiritually out of this thing, that's going to allow you to not have no attachments here, and that's ultimately going to get you fucked up at the end. All right, being caught up, you're going to get caught up, with the destruction of this place if you try to, hold on,
All right, so this is Luke chapter 9, I'm starting verse 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Yahushua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have not where to lay his head. And he said to another, Follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Yahushua said unto him, Let the dead bury the dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Yahushua said to him, No man having put his hand to the plow, looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Really, the point is that, there's men out there that trying to follow the Lord, but yeah, they got excuses, so what they got to attend to this, they got to attend to that, the spirit of this world. But y'all try to say, nah, forget all that, man. Follow me.
Right.
What that was? Luke 9?
Yeah, Luke 9, yeah.
Con. I got some for you too.
Con. This Luke 14 and 26. I thought you were saying Christological. Luke 14 and 26, it says, If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yeah, in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Right. Yeah, man. So we gotta, and we know that hate goes in a loving list. All right. So we gotta this business, this ministry that we're a part of, the work of the Lord, it gotta be our first, main, most important priority over all things.
Yeah, that's what we can destroy, man.
Yeah.
It been like that. We're not gonna be fit. For the kingdom of the Most High.
That was it on that?
Yeah, that's good.
Come. To love less, I got you, man, brother, but yeah, you gotta put, these type of things on a back burner, and again, and this to always, that's why I started off with that Ecclesiastes 3 and 1, because that pretty much covers the scale of where your mind needs to be on, from dealing with love, when it comes from dying, when it comes to embracing and not embracing. All right, it's a point in time that you're going to have to keep your family and everything on the back burner, and doing the will of the Lord, serving the Lord. All right, it's a time and a place. Yeah, you're going to have your windows, your opportunities. So if you got your children, taking your children out, taking your woman out, going to family events, to keep your family happy. But when it comes down to the truth, man, it's not no time to really be playing no games. We don't really have time to waste to commence on those things. Pretty much that we already done many times before. All right, and we know that being here is probably going to be another chance that is going to happen again. But this is only going to come one time. So that spark something in your head that's why it's so important to keep this thing first and follow the Lord. You want to say something? You want to say something?
Because it says in his own life also. So we gotta even love less. We gotta put ourselves on the back burner. All the things we like to do. We gotta put the truth first, bro. Because there's things we gotta do, and we can't. It might be things we want to do, and we just can't do. Just because we're a part of, being a part of this truth. Yeah.
Back him up real quick. We gotta learn to deny ourselves. Certain things we just really can't do, man. Certain things that we honestly just want to do. Nah. We gotta serve the Lord. We gotta learn to deny ourselves. We gotta prepare ourselves for that. Us being the truth, we know that. You know what I'm saying? We deny ourselves every day. Lord always comes first, though, bro. Always. Who you think control everything in life anyway? Right? Call, you got food, shelter. You don't want to come serve the Lord, but you care about that job and money and woman. Who you think gave that? Who you think could take away that? That's all I want to say.
Get the precepts back up there, brother.
This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 24, where Yahweh then said Yahweh unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Verse 25, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
So, again, it starts off with denying yourself, picking up your cross, and following Yahweh Shai. Following instead of Yahweh Shai. So, that being said, again, that comes with, the burdens that you maybe have to, carry on your day-to-day basis, the things that you physically have to deny yourself when it comes to certain pleasures in the world that may, mess you up at the end of the day if you, deal with it too much, just being balanced in a sense, but what it said in the next verse? Whatsoever.
Matthew 16, verse 25, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
So read it again. We're going to stop at the
It's Matthew chapter 16, verse 25, read by Yahweh, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
So whoever should save his life should lose it. All right. So if you're fighting, to keep some type of name that you may have for yourself, or name that you're trying to build for yourself, or just some type of life that you're trying to build here in this hellhole, you're going to lose it. All right. Continue.
And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
So whoever is willing pretty much to take that humble road, man, that humble road to be loaded. All right. We was going into the with the lesson yesterday, the brother Kayak, made the point of like, man, we're obviously doing something good if we're in these lowly positions, serving the Lord. All right. We may not have the total riches. We may not have the baddest woman. We may not have all the land and all this and that and third, but we have the Lord. All right. It's always gonna be that, bro. Right. It's always gonna be. It's gonna be way better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It ain't fixed. We're gonna deny that, man. Yeah. For the greater good.
Right. Hey, exactly what you're saying. Go back to that what that was, that Micah. Hey, yeah, all of this shit is defiled anyway.
Right.
The women are defiled, the food is defiled, right? Shit. So, Jake gonna not deny himself for defiled shit. We already read the necessary precepts to understand that this thing is almost over with. Right? The days are being sped up. You got to be deaf, dumb, and blind and living under a rock not to know that this world is finna end, bro. The age, this eon is about to end. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like we already got the we already got the riches already.
Come on, man.
We got the women. You know what I'm saying? We already got the mansions. That's in John 14.
That's right.
We already got all the blessings already. We just gotta wait.
We walking it down, man.
Walking it down.
That's man, the Lord gives us everything. Yeah, he ain't asking for too much. The Lord gives us what? Food, shelter. Some brothers got a woman, some not. It's all good. The Lord might see fit. Well, you don't need one right. You know what I'm saying? This brother need one. The Lord always give you what you need. You know what I'm saying? To sustain yourself. To keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Jake never considered, if I get this, will I bug out? Jake gonna never say that to themselves. But that's a common question when we asking for certain things. You gotta ask yourself that. Will this shit bug me out? Knowing how much I like this thing or whatever it may be, will this fuck up my walk? Will this prolong my walk even? It might not even take you out, but will it prolong where I'm trying to get to? Lord willing, it's in the will of the Lord. But nevertheless, those are the things we gotta ask ourselves in these times, man.
Ultimately, the Lord always gonna throw us a bone, man. Right? We are His men. We are His brothers.
That's right.
So we know that the Lord is going to give us everything in due season. You know, if we need it, we're going to get it. You know, if we don't get it, that means we're not supposed to have it. You know, plain and simple. You know, right now. For right now, you know, because at the end, He tells you that we're going to get everything.
Our heart desire.
Come on, man.
The Lord said, on my right hand of pleasure forevermore.
Come on.
Stuff you can't even fathom. So what is this shit ass place? God, you don't got nothing on the Lord will give us, bro.
Right?
That's all I want to see.
Come on, man. You got it, shot.
I just want to add on to you when you talked about, different pleasures and different things in life. Even the Lord said himself in Matthew 19 that all men can't have a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except it be a gift, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could, you know, because that was on my mind, but, you know, just simple things like that, being here and seeing, you know, these defiled women, you know, like, come on, brothers probably walk across some things that's like bad as hell, and probably the first thing comes to your mind is, man, I know that's trouble. It's something that's gonna come with that I really don't want to deal with at the moment. Some men, you know, able to uh, work with those things and know how to handle themselves and not lose themselves. But some brothers may see that and just completely lose themselves. You know, like you want
Yeah, there's another day too. Like when it comes to women, we got them already. You gotta wait for them to be refreshed.
right?
You know.
Yeah, Jake got to remember the things that were written aforetime for our learning. You see, what happened to King Solomon, man? Behind women, though. You see, hey, King David, okay, Samson. All of these men lost what? Their strength, which was what? Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. They lost their power due to what? Women, man. Following women. And not to get on that, because, you know, that's really an irrelevant topic to what we're talking about. But just giving the understanding and the importance in edifying, through the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, that's one of those main things that the brother read in Second Timothy, that entanglement. You see? But you got it out.
Really, the main thing we should be chasing is power. So once we get the power,
Everything comes.
Right.
You know.
Comes through power. You know, we got the saying that, you know, Jacob said, you know, money, power, respect. You know, and that's supposed to be the order of it. But power leads to money and respect. Come on, man. So once you get that power and respect, man, everything else is gonna fall underneath that umbrella. You know.
I want to get this precept for what I was talking about earlier. Real quick. This is I'm gonna go straight to the point. This is Yahweh Shah talking about basically, men having women, going into units. Like some people just, basically here just to teach the word. You know what I'm saying? This is Matthew 19 and verse 10. It says, his disciples say unto him, it says, I'll start one verse up. That's verse 9. It says, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whosoever marrieth her which is put away doeth commit adultery. Verse 10, it says, his disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. Verse 11, it says, and the point it says, but he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. So while Jake is trying to chase tail, the Lord just wants you to be a prophet. You're not going to get the woman that you want,
Right.
Yeah. Once again, once you get the power, you'll get the one that you want.
Right.
This is nothing but a reward, man. A woman is a gift and a reward to you, you know. But in here, this hellhole that we're living in, what it tells you is either a pillar to lean on or a thorn in your side, you know. And majority of these goddamn women in this world are a thorn in your side. You know, that's going to do nothing but slow you down and mess up your mind, you know. Verse chapter 4, verse 26 reads, yeah, they have run out for wits for women to come serve for this. They're running out of many men. They're running out of their equipment, you know. You know, and that shows you the power, you know, that comes with that and dealing
This is how it's gonna look. These cities